and I want to thank you all for coming to this session, and I especially want to thank our speakers today. I hope that you're getting a lot in your head, and that you still have saving room for some more interesting things I'd like to share. So I'm on the board of the JCC here, and also a sponsor of Zionism 3.0. I was fortunate enough to go to some meetings with Zach as he was talking about this idea, meeting with a number of different organizations in the Jewish community here in the United States. And one of the key questions that kind of came up is, this is all wonderful, this is all great, but are there real Israeli partners that we have for this? And this is why this session really spoke to me, because I want to see who is there that we are going to be partnering with, and I'm really excited to hear from each of you. So let me just briefly, you all know that there are more detailed biographies of each of our very renowned speakers, so please look them up when you have your time. And they did also want me to just mention that there'll be, of course, one more large plenary after, and we'll also be getting to hear from the Maccabees and get into the spirit of Hanukkah. But to quickly introduce the whole panel here, and you're not speaking in, I don't think you're sitting, or maybe you are actually, no, not quite, sitting in the order they were given to me, but Rabbi Shay Piron is the chairman of the Panima movement and dean and vice president of Ono Academic College, and in 2016 he was the vice chairman of the Knesset. Tehila Friedman is a research fellow at the Shalom Hartman Institute and a program director for Shacharit, a think tank promoting a new social covenant in Israel. Efrat, Admon, is co-founder and head of content and business development for onlife.co.il, a leading Israeli feminist news and magazine website. Aviezer Gellman is the director of Division of Diaspora Jewry at Amit School Network. And Adiel Shapiro is Director of Training and Methodology at the Reut Institute and leads Reut's Nation-State Task Force. Finally, moderating our panel is Bill Lipsey, co-founder, along with his wife, Amy, of the Honey Foundation for Israel. Thank you so much for joining us, and please.
Okay. Thank you. It's great to be here, and wow, this sounds loud.
Yeah.
No?
No, it's okay.
You hear me okay? It's not too
We
loud.
have hundreds of people, so we need some.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I want to tell you, I'm especially proud to be on this panel. First of all, because I'm the only American on the panel, and it's a panel about our partners in Israel in the Z3 movement. Second, because I'm from New Jersey, and I'm sitting here in Palo Alto, California, and I feel very much that the entire theme of this exercise is Anachnu Am Echad. We are one people. And the fact that we sit here, secular Jews, we sit here, Reform Jews, we sit here, Jews who aren't sure which category they fit under, the common thread is we're all Jews. We're Jews from New Jersey, we're Jews from Israel, we're Jews from Palo Alto, we're just Jews. And so I feel especially blessed to be part of this group. Maddie was nice enough to say something that's very important to me, and that is that we started the Honey Foundation, my wife and I, Amy, and I want to tell a few seconds about the Honey Foundation, because I actually think it's relevant to our discussion, and it says a lot about why I am part of this exercise. So we lived in Israel 9 years ago to experience what it might be like to be part of the state and to see if we could. And I'll say it was an extraordinary experience. It changed our lives in many, many ways, not the least of which are the people and the relationships we were privileged to walk away from. But I'll say the big walk away for me was the learning that Israel's the only democratic state where Jews reside, where there is no profession called community rabbi. We experienced it firsthand. We're active, involved members of. We're active, involved members
I
of.
do it only 22 years. Community rabbis.
Okay, so hold on. So you're part of the exception that proves the rule. So we can engage in that conversation, but I'll say, when I walked into the conservative shul in Kfar Saba, where there was no rabbi, it was a place that had come together because of the friends who made Aliyah 35 years ago, created a chavura, a group of friends, wanted to pray together, wanted to be together, wanted to support each other, the way all Jewish communities do. And the new people walk in, it's very, very difficult, no matter how nice. It's very, very difficult, mainly because there is nobody whose job it is to make sure that we're taken care of. There's nobody who's every day worrying, are the Lipseys being absorbed into the Jewish community? And I'll say it's a very different experience than one has anywhere else in anywhere in the diaspora as a Jew. I wanted to mention a couple of other things that I think are crucial. I want to borrow something from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, who spoke to us this morning. So one of the roles of the Honey Foundation is to support community rabbis and spiritual leaders to help it become a normal profession in Israel. And Rabbi Sachs gives a drush that's relevant to the parsha we just finished, Miketz, last week, about Joseph, and why Joseph was the quintessential leader because of the three characteristics that he had. So the first was that he was a dreamer, right? So I'll say my father always had this. By the way, my father was the Honey in Honey Foundation. Happy to tell the story another time. But my father used to say, dream big, because dreaming incrementally never accomplishes anything. The only way to actually accomplish something is to imagine a great future. And if you imagine it, like Herzl said, if you dream it, it will become it. The second trait that Joseph had, that Rabbi Sachs reminds us of, is that Joseph was actually, he understood other people's dreams. He saw that those dreams were important and actually told a story. So as a leader, each of you who are engaging in the life of your communities are engaging in the dreams of those people. And so I'll say that lesson is crucial. And then third, and I'll argue maybe the most important lesson that Rabbi Sachs reminds us of that Joseph had, and that is he was a guy who could execute. So I'm a business person. I spend most of my life running a business. And I love the dreaming. But I'll say at the end of the day, I'm all about the executing. Because you can have all the dreams you want, but if nobody is going to engage with you and execute on the vision, there is nothing. So what Joseph is reminding us, and Rabbi Sachs is telling us, dreams are important, but without the execution, they're actually just clouds. This is a conference that's actually all about dreaming. Dreaming of our relationship, dreaming of what it can be and what it should be. And so I want to start asking the panel a question. And if okay with you, Efrat, I'm going to pick on you first. So my question, you're looking at me, and you sent me the email. So I want to start with the question, why are you involved in the Z3 movement? Why is this important to you as an Israeli?
I'll start by saying that 4 years ago, I wouldn't, if you have met me 4 years ago, you wouldn't have imagined that I would sit here. 4 years ago, I live in Herzliya. I'm very secular. I'm married to a very atheist man. I wasn't preoccupied with my Jewish identity at all. I've heard about other panels before us that talked about in Israel you don't need to think you're Jewish. You just do it. I even didn't think about it. I wasn't Jewish. I was a woman, a feminist, a journalist, a mother. Judaism wasn't a part of my life until 4 years ago when I was invited to a delegation of Gesher. Have you heard about Gesher?
No.
Gesher is an organization, an Israeli organization, that its goal is to unite all the separate entities into Jewish people, like Haredim, Kippa Sruga,
Kippa Sruga, modern Orthodox.
Modern Orthodox, and secular. We were a group of 15 or 16 journalists. We had some 6 months of seminar, and then we came to the States for a week, and we met a lot of journalists and people from all kinds of organizations. And that was the first time that I had to deal with my Jewish identity and realize that I had one. Because I didn't really, we celebrate the holidays. Hanukkah is a very great holiday. We have Chanukah. We like it very much. We like the songs. But I really, I didn't identify myself as Jewish until that delegation when I wrote you in my email that was probably the first time that I saw that I could be Jewish, because I saw how the American Jews practice their Judaism, how they embrace it, how there's no restrictions attached to it. And that was the first time that I realized that I could also come back to Israel and start doing it myself. That's what 4 years ago, and since then I was involved in all sorts of activities in Israel with Gesher organization. It's not that I became more religious. Not at all. I'm not religious. I was always non-religious, but I realized that I have some kind of model that I can use and bring it back to Israel. That's actually the purpose of me being here. I'm not an activist. I'm a feminist activist, but not a religious activist. But I think that I have a chance here to help. There was a panel about the silent majority in Israel. There is a vast majority of Israel that are non-religious or liberal Jews, and I know that I can be a part of it if I have the tools, if I have some people that will help me, because we're a lot of people. A lot of people. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. So, by the way, we're a panel, I think, where we have a pretty good range of in our own practice as 6 Jews. And so, if I could ask you, Shay, as a rabbi, and as a modern Orthodox rabbi, fair assignment?
I don't know. So.
Okay, so my question for you is the same. What's important to you about participating in this conference, in the Z3 movement?
First of all, I think that in the past, when Ben Gurion started our countries, he think that community is a very bad idea. Why?
Community is a bad idea?
Yes. Why? Because the community is the son of tribe. And when we build a new nation, we want to block the tribe. So the idea of the mamlachtiyut, of the nations, was we started with part, families, nation. Community, it's very bad, because what is community? Community from Sfaradim, community from Ashkenazim, community from feminism, a lot of kinds of tribe. So Ben Gurion want to block. He understood that community is from the galut. It's not the bless of our new nation. If we want to live in Israel, we have to block the community. That's one thing to think about it, okay? He wrong. But I understand why he do it, why he did it, okay? Second point for you, only for you, listen, in every Shabbat, we come home and we take our 2 hands. Today it's father and mother. Tehila. and
I'm in charge here of religious studies.
and we bless our son and girls. ישמחה אלוהים כאפרים וכמנשה. So, but Ephraim Manasseh, it's very important for me. You know why? Because if you read Sefer Bereshit, after the Dvar Torah of Rabbi Zaks, who care Ephraim and Manasseh? You know something about them? You know any story about them? Some things, you can tell me some things about Ephraim and Manasseh. That's every Shabbat. You stay in your home and you bless your son, please. Will be like Ephraim and Manasseh. You know something about them?
They're Yosef's grandchildren.
So what now? If you bless the girls, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, I think that's Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. So listen, when you read this book, the Genesis, Bereshit, Ephraim and Manasseh, it's the first brother who not fight. All the brothers in Sefer Bereshit are fight. Cain ve'Hevel.
We don't have a record.
We don't know. Okay. We don't know that they fight. Okay. We don't know that they fight. Okay. So listen to me. What father and mother bless the son? Please don't fight. That's the bless. That's the bless. Please don't fight.
The girls don't fight anyways.
No. Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, it's not the same story. No, because we know that Abraham has Cain ve'Hevel fight. Abraham fight. Yitzhak fight. Yaakov fight. 12 tribe fight. The first brothers without fight, it's a Ephraim and Manasseh. So what the message? I'm here.
Message to the girls.
No, I think that it's a wonderful message that if you want to learn something, go to the mothers. But I think that I'm here because I think that it's time to think about Ephraim and Manasseh. We all the time take the model of Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. We all the time think who is Ishmael and who is Yitzhak in our generation. Who is Yosef? And the bless is to sit together. I'm here because the rabbi of Ephraim and Manasseh. That's the second point.
Beautiful.
The third point, in 1948, I told it in the, I forget what days today, when I am. So it's my third panel.
15 hours. So.
Yeah. No, you. I'm
yeah,
more.
you had more.
I'm
This
from
is the
Los
panel
Angeles.
of the jet lag.
So, in 1948, two famous people, David Ben-Gurion and Menachem Begin, have two options: brotherhood or values. Ben-Gurion say to the Palmach goodbye because brotherhood is more important than value. Begin say to the Etzel and Lehi goodbye because brotherhood is more important than value. It was an amazing moment that two guides from the other side of the bridge, two guides said, listen to us, brothers, it's more important from ideas. Unfortunately, today, the leaders think that values is more important than brothers. And I'm here because I want to be the son of Ben-Gurion and Begin both together to say that brotherhood important than values, or brotherhood is the values. And that's the story about the Ephraim of Manasseh. Brotherhood, it's the values.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, Tehila. What about you?
Every Shabbat I bless my kids. I never thought of why the Ephraim and Manasseh. So thank you. It's really.
Can I also say, I want to offer this since we're such a small group, I think all of us should be thinking about this question, right? We all were charged in the main session of what are we going to walk away with, and what are we going to do? What's our action? So we should all be asking ourselves this question: why are we here? Why are we engaging in this?
because Gidi called us.
So when you first asked me, my answer was kacha. You know, because there are questions that the answer is because.
You know, in the Hasidim we say, "Ashrei ha'am."
שככה לא.
ככה לא.
No, it's like I'm Jewish, like I'm a woman, like like it's so basic. It's the total opposite. Like I can't think of something more basic to me. It's not like glasses that I'm putting on my eyes. Those are my eyes. So for me, like being engaged in it was kind of kacha. But to be sincere, most Israelis do not see it that way. Most Israelis, I feel my friends are like, there are people who are very interested in, my activist friends, there are people who are very interested in social questions within Israel. And then they couldn't care less about diaspora Jewry and relationship. And there are people who are very interested in questions of state and religion, and then they are interested. But most of them wouldn't be so interested in questions of poverty and, you know, social gaps. And the people who are interested in both, I think I know them all personally because they're so, you know, so small. Yes, so, but that was true up to a year and a half ago. I think the crisis around the Kotel also create opportunity because the issue become more central. And things are happening in Israel around it. I'll give 3 examples. I'm going to talk about it later again, so I apologize. I'm part of the closing panel. But 3 examples. First, every Yom Ha'atzmaut we have the central ceremony is lighting 12 masuot. How do you say masuah?
Torches.
Torches? Torches, like to torch?
Torch.
Really? Yeah. Torches? Oh, that's something I should remember, I think.
זה טוב בשבילך.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said. So 12 torches. And in the last year, when we celebrate 70 years for Israel, they added another one for diaspora Jewry. The torture of diaspora Jewry. It never happened before. One example. Last week, there was a parade in Jerusalem under the title Yes We Care, called the Diaspora Parade. And it was kind of, you know, like you have in the Fifth Avenue, so we're going to do in Jerusalem. Again, first time ever. And there was a series of articles in Makor Rishon, which is a modern Orthodox newspaper. They wouldn't call themselves the modern Orthodox newspaper, and focusing on diaspora, on American Jewry. Series of 23 articles interviewing leaders, raising, you know, giving weekly article. Now, all those 3 things never happened before, and I think it shows something. It shows something. Now, when I started my journey, and I'm going to finish with that story, my first real job was working with Natan Sharansky. He was Minister for Diaspora Affairs, and I came, first place I think I came to write him. They were looking for someone who can write his articles, and I ended up being his advisor. I was dealing with anti-Semitism. Anyhow, I was the only Sabra in the staff. All the rest were either Russian speakers or Anglos. And they all treat me as, you know, I was like the native, you know, as an Israeli. It was horrible. I was so humiliated that I read War and Peace, Peace and War, cover to cover, just to show that I'm not, you know. Anyhow, so I remember one time we wanted to have a conference in Europe, and I said, well, let's have it in England. That's the biggest Jewish community in Europe. And then Nathan looked at me and said, I cannot understand how Israeli with 2nd degree from university can say such stupid things. And I was like, why? And he said, because France Jewish community is 3 times as big as the English community. And I was like, okay. So, but it come to show how little I knew. We know very little. So that was almost, I think it's 18 years ago. And it's not like my kids know more, but I think we have way to go, okay, in terms of education, but I think they care more, or would care more. And caring would be the first and I think most important step.
Thank you. So, Adiel and Avi, I want to change the nature of the question a little bit. So, I spend a lot of time in vacation in Colorado. And one of the things that I learned, and I'm a big hiker, and one of the things that I've learned is, so you walk in Colorado frequently through groves of aspen trees. And aspen trees in the grove share the root system. So actually, there are groves of aspens that are considered among the world's largest single organisms. They're not individual plants. I wonder if you think about the Jewish people and peoplehood as we're all talking about, I wonder if, as Israelis, do you view all of us as one family? Are we Anachnu Am Echad? Are we one people? Are we one organism? Or are we individual?
First of all, I personally, yes, I do see it as one big family. That's the way I grew up. My parents also made Aliyah from the States to Israel, so we're connected family and emotionally to diaspora. And we do care about what's going on, and also growing up, always we're updated what's going on in the educational world, the spiritual world out there. But I think the Israeli kids, the ones that I'm dealing with, don't have that sense. But it's a lack of knowledge, I think, not a lack of care. And when we want to come and educate them, we have to start from scratch, not dive into the dilemmas and discussions and things that the American Jewry is dealing with, but really start from scratch. First of all, what's the diaspora? How many Jews live where? France, Europe. They have no idea. They have no idea what the numbers are about. Second of all, how are we connected? And what challenges they're going through. And then you can start talking about the dilemmas. At the end of the day, if they're not similar to the dilemmas they're going through today, it's going to be the dilemmas going to be going through in 20 years from now, because we always are 20 years behind. So I think I'm optimistic with the right set of programs and the knowledge that we could give those the younger generation, we could build up that sense of one family.
Adiel.
First of all, they're all here because Root Institute asked them to come. I want to say something more personal than I consider myself as the success story of Zionism in Israel, because I grew up in a country who's very strong financially, military. She's so strong that she can start doing peace with the who was her enemies. I grew up and then we had this with with Jordan. We have the peace with Jordan, and already peace with Egypt. And before that, we have wars. And I grew up. We have this peace process with the Palestinians, and I grew up in the good side of the system. Afterwards, went to the army, became an officer, and afterwards went to the university, got married. Like all those stations of this serving elite in Israel. But until today, I started my training in Re'ut. No one ever asked me a question about Jews outside of Israel, except one story. There have been Jews outside Israel, and they got murdered in the Shoah, in the Holocaust. Okay, of course, we are learning about 800 years of fabulous Jewish flourishing communities in Poland who vanished. But no one ever told me nothing about a very, very successful story of Jews who went to this golden Medina. I didn't even know this expression. Okay? And they made fabulous things over there. And it's a tree. No one ever told me nothing about it. I can say, yeah, like maybe this things of Soloveitchik. But when you learn Soloveitchik, usually they don't tell you why he was working from New York and not from Israel, and you don't ask too much, okay? Yeah, it's just the text. And when I started to work in Reut, so who then was the director of training, he told me, okay, and I came as a policy analyst after my second degree, and I was a researcher in places, and he told me, what is your Jewish story? And I'm like, what? Like, I'm an Israeli. What do you mean by... No, he told me, what is your Jewish story? And suddenly, I didn't know what to say, because I didn't have like a Jewish story. I only have my Israeli story, which Judaism is a part of it. But it was never like, consider yourself as a member of this peoplehood, as a member of this, like, people who not only live in Israel, but you consider yourself an Israeli, and you have all the, and like, as a part of being an Israeli, I'm also religious and etc., etc. And that was a defining moment for me, because only then I had to ask myself, okay, there are Jews outside of Israel. What do I know about them? Of course, like Tehila said and Aviezer said, I knew nothing, because no one ever told me. Not in the family, because we are very Zionist home. Because my family came from Shlilat HaGalut, okay? They were Zionists, they came like in the 20s and before, and they only want to be in Israel. They give up everything they had before to be here. Not here, to be in Israel.
Sham.
And, yeah, to be... I'm confused.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And the dreidel doesn't help me here, because you have all the options now. and I think...
It's a nice picture, you know?
What?
It's a nice picture. You paint now a nice picture, because in our school, in the religious school, they said us that they are the son of lost. They said that they wrong. They said us, our teachers, our rabbis, let's do it truly and really. They say that the Rabbi Soloveitchik is not like Rabbi Cook. Rabbi Cook was the big rabbi, and Rabbi Soloveitchik is the American rabbis, etc., etc. It's not was the word, but the feeling was, they give us to feel that they are wrong, they must be in Israel. It's tragedy that they sit in New Jersey or Paris, and we pray every day that
They'll
Rebbeinu
get religion.
open their head, and they come back to Israel. That's the truth. We never talk about them because they're wrong. And in the other side, when the rabbis stand near us, they open Rabbi Moshe Feinstein in Igrot Moshe, and they open Dvar Torah from Lubavitcher. So it's conflict.
And what I know and what I still experience among the friends I grew up and among the people I serve in reserve with and all the people surround me, like today I'm the weird because I ask them these questions and they tell me, what are you talking about? Because they really, when I have this question, I ask them, like, what is your relationship, or what do you think should be our relationship with Jews outside of Israel, except they don't give us money, okay? They don't do Aliyah, and they don't give us political support. And then they look at me. Okay, that's how they feel. And these are the success stories of Israel. Okay, they care about social justice. They care about Israel. They care about all the liberal values you can think of. But no one ever let them the experience to think about those questions. And this is the majority. Okay? We are the 1% who ever sit here. We are really the 1%. Aviezer, it's only on his, איך אתה קורא לזה? רשת חינוכית.
School network. We're the only formal school network who deals with diaspora Jewry, educates about diaspora Jewry.
The only one in Israel. That's why he's here. Because the others just don't have no one like him.
I'm proud of, but fortunate to the only one.
Yeah.
We have 110 schools, and 55 of them have dealt with this, but we don't have any other schools yet that picked up the issue.
So I got asked a question today. I was getting interviewed by Ynet. So the question I got asked is, do you believe, because they hear about what the Honey Foundation is doing, and do you believe that exporting the American model of streams is the answer to Judaism in Israel? And so I said, of course not. I said, of course not. Americans don't know the answers. Americans are only worried that they identify themselves around communities, and Israelis define themselves as Israeli. So what my question for you, so let's start again. So Efrat, if you could begin. Americans don't vote in Israel. Americans don't pay taxes in Israel. Americans do not generally participate in the IDF in Israel. And yet Americans want to feel some level of involvement in the decisions made that affect Americans. How do you feel about that, and what's possible in that dialogue? Because there's obvious conflict in that dialogue.
First of all, I think that I'm the extremist in this panel because, as I said before, I relate more easily to you than probably most of the Jewish people in Israel because I feel that you actually look at Judaism as I do. As a culture, as a history, as a way of life which is actually I can...
I'm representing all of America.
I know they're different.
I understand.
and I see you as I wrote you in as an ally for helping me, sorry for being egoistic, helping me changing things that I can't do alone in Israel. I'm not able to do it, many people have tried in the political situation. באמת לא בריאות. So I value, not only I value your opinion, I think that we, the secular, the non-religious, I can say left, מגזר, sector in Israel, we actually need you. We need you to help us change things in order that Israel can be more supportive of your way of being Jewish. Part of that, issues about security and then their Palestinian-Israel conflict. We have more opinions in Israel. If you start, getting involved, actually, I think you should. This is something I said when there was the first panel in the tent. And I'm sorry of being, I will try not to be blunt, but I'm not, actually, in my real life. I think that we're all very nice. We're trying to do things very peacefully, and somebody said on stage, we can embrace. Sometimes you have to be a bit angry and aggressive and assertive in order to be heard. If you want to change people in Israel, change the way change the way we think, I think that I'm talking about you because we shout all the time, you have to join, you don't have to join the the shouting, but you have to be, I think you have to be more assertive in order to be heard.
Shay, could you speak on this?
What?
Can.
I have a wonderful story for you because you started with this point. 15 years ago, when we established our organization, they sent me to the United States, to America, to learn about communities. I know maybe 2 or 3 words in English. And they sent me to Rabbi Effie Buchwald. He's a rabbi, make a Shabbat across America, something like this. And I came here to New York to learn some things about communities. And they took me a lot of schools, a lot of shuls, conservatives, PJs, and a lot of shuls all over New York. It was amazing. Today, listen to me, we have more than 500 communities rabbis in Israel. And it starts with a little tour like the tour of Gesher with her. So I think that the first point is when we in Israel know that we have what to learn from you, we can do something together. So the first step is that the Israeli have something to teach the Jews in the diaspora, even they must know that they have what to learn from the Jews in the diaspora. That is relationships. So that's the first point. Communities is only one example. Let me say something. Tehila, she said to me, her brother is the chairman of the Chevra leMatnasim, the community center in Israel. You know, maybe you haven't one community center like this community center in Israel.
No, yes.
בכזה מבנים?
Not like this.
על מה את מדברת? נו, מה זה לא דומה? יש פה פחות יהודים מאשר במתנ"ס בקריית מלאכי, ותראי איך זה
They're
נראה.
smaller, they're nothing this grand, yeah.
זה בכלל לא מתקרב בכלל.
But we have other activities in.
No, so we have what to teach together. Okay, that's one point.
Finally.
Second point, I want to say you some things. Don't help her to fight me. Listen to me. What you said.
Why would I fight you?
No, you specifically and me specifically.
I
No, I say
include
you say.
in the word.
Listen to me. I listen to you. What I'm here, okay? You say I need you to help me
Against.
to do some things with who? To change what? To change what? To change what? What? Where? With who?
The pressure on the parties, the political parties. To
So
change.
do it with me. Why? Okay. So we don't need you.
The cafe will be fun.
Okay. It's very. Listen to.
Why do you object to them getting involved?
What?
I'm curious. Why
No,
do you
that's
object?
not what he's
No.
saying. He said get involved, but not for a reason.
No,
There's
yes.
support for them to be involved.
But I need him because you need them and I need them and you need me and I need you. So it's not we need the Jews in the diaspora. They are liberal. They are, you know when I was Minister of Education.
By the way, we're not also liberal.
No. Listen.
much more liberal
Listen.
than
I have a wonderful
facing
stories
in
for you.
Israel.
I don't know why all the people here say that I was a former in academic honor. I won 1 year, but I was few years Minister of Education in Israel. And when I was the Minister of Education in Israel, we have terrible problems. The problem is that the government gave more than $25 million every year to both young people from the diaspora to Israel, like Taglit, something like this. Now, listen to me. 85% from this budget go to ultra-Orthodox students.
We're coming anyhow.
Or coming anyhow. In Yeshiva Tmir, in Jerusalem, we have every year 3,000 students who came from United States, and the government pay for them $50,000 each one. So I was the minister and said, it's okay, but if you want my budget, you have to visit in 5 places in Israel. Like, for example, Supreme Court, like Yad Vashem, like. I give you 10 places, and you chose 5 places that every student who can, because it makes sense. You came to Israel, you stay all the years in Mea Shearim, you never go out. So if I give my budget, please go. So the ultra-Orthodox said, nothing. All right. So after a few months, the Rosh Yeshiva of Mir sent MK Moshe Gafni to me, and he said me, the Rosh Yeshiva of Mir want to meet you. I said, wonderful, I come to him. He said, minister from the government can't come to the Yeshiva Mir. I said, okay, so he can come to me. He said, no. Rosh Yeshiva can come to Ministry of Education. So I said, so what do you want? He said, listen, we have a wonderful house in Jerusalem. From one side, they have door in Shari Chesed, and the other side, we have a door to Katamon. You came from this side, and the rabbi came from this side, and you sit together in the salon, and you talk about this problem. He came from this side, and this side, secret, nobody knows, okay? And we sit together, and I ask him, Rabbi, listen to me, this is my money. This is not my money, this is nationality money. You bring students to Israel, something's about Israel, something. You go to Masada, go to, tell me, you know what? You chose the 5 place, no time. He said, no money and no places. Wow. So why I need him? Why we need each other? We need not him. We need the ultra-Orthodox in the United States. Because when I visit in B&H, in the store in the in Manhattan, and I see all the Hasidim who come wake up at morning and go to work, and they have a salary. We need them because it's another model of relationship between religions and countries and government.
Tehila? Oh, yeah, go ahead, Avi, go ahead.
I think it's important for the Jewish, American Jews to be involved with Israel for their sake. This is a part of their Jewish identity, not for our sake, the Israelis. I think it's important for them to be involved, and anybody who's interested in being involved, he's already there. So I'm not threatened by it. So I think it's important, as more involvement, better for both sides.
Yes, I totally agree with that, but I'll just say, as the only American on the panel, that I would also say, like you experienced in the Gesher program, Efrat, it's critical, if we're going to have a real relationship, that you be involved with me too. That Israelis actually embrace that being involved, I mean that in the truest sense of the word, being involved in our Jewish life is a critical element. If it's just me coming on Taglit, if it's just me sending money, if it's just me...
If we send students to Poland, to the Holocaust.
Yeah, yes.
Like I said.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So I get that. The people who are generally involved are the ones who come and do that. So I want to open it up. Are there people who have questions? Yeah.
I have a question. I just want to talk about one other thing. There is a Masorti conservative rabbi, I think, Rabbi Gordon Tucker in Westchester. And he gave a speech about how Americans, and especially myself, I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, and life was all about the shadow of the Shoah. And my Jewish education was all about never again, never again. That was the focus of what I learned as a child in Hebrew school. I grew up and my identity, I'm talking to Efrat right now was really very much about being Jewish, because here I am in a Christian country. So I felt very, very Jewish. The incredible pride of Israel's existence is part of who I am, part of how I was raised. Pride and love of Israel. It was, what?
Question.
The question is,
It's my wife, so I have to be gentle.
the question is this. Rabbi Gordon Tucker gave a speech about how we Americans feel like Israelis treat us like it is unrequited love. Do you know what I mean by that? That we love Israel so much, so deeply, but we don't feel loved in return. That's the question about.
Do you love us?
Do you love us? That's really what I'm.
Do you
that's
love me?
Yes, that's really.
Short? Yes.
Thank you.
No, but I want to say something.
Yes.
I'm Jerusalemite. It's clear for me that I don't own Jerusalem more than you do. Because, really, seriously, I really feel that. But I want you to take ownership. I want you to be vocal. I want you to with whatever has to do with Judaism, okay? Here, I different from you. I think that things that has to do with security, it's fair to say no taxation without risk. Okay, now it's very hard to draw the line between what has to do with security and what has to do with Judaism, because it's very mixed, like the nation-state law, where it fits. It's hard to draw the line, but the line exists. So whatever has to do with Judaism, conversion, questions of marriage, the kotel, questions of Jerusalem, it's yours. So, like, I don't feel.
So why can't they express their opinion about what's happening in Israel when it's talking about the nation-state law and everything? Why can't they express because they don't live in Israel?
No, because there is something to be
So
said.
it's sensitive. So stop being so
Tehila, now you talk
sensitive.
to them like Efrat,
No.
like Efrat from the other side. So you have some problems with conversion, with marriage.
No, not because they have problems.
I want them
Slicha.
to talk together about liberalism without problems. How about liberal without problems?
But it's
How
not because
to
of
talk
problem.
together
It's because
about
it affects their life and it affects our joint
I want
project.
to learn with them Bible, to hear another voice. I want to ask them some things about how you have a family with different kids who go far, far from the parents. Let me know how you relation your family when you have kids who goes with very far from your home. I want to learn from them not only about the problem. I want to learn with them about the vision, about the dreams. If we have the same dreams, we have answer. If we started with the questions, we never have dreams. Start with the conversion, it's to start with fight.
Yeah, the
What are
other
the
hand,
possibilities? It's really
So
what
we'll
David
fight.
Brooks started with today. What are the possibilities? So there was another question. Yes, you had a question, Shlomo.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
to ruin the party and to said that we love you. Most of Israelis, I'm sorry to say, don't really care.
I know.
I'm sorry.
But and I want to say
But
they don't
we-
care because they
don't
They
know.
don't know. They
and
don't.
that's why they don't care.
Yeah.
but you know
Because
what?
what?
When there was a massacre in,
Yeah.
They don't know you.
They don't care because they
No,
really.
that's
it's not
right.
like lack
No.
of care. When there was
We
a
care if
massacre,
something happens. That's true. But
No.
a part of that, if you're
I
involved
have a
in
question for you.
no.
What's more teenagers, seculars, or modern Orthodox in Israel think about them? That they are luckies? That they live in Palo Alto? Or,
They don't-
Or listen to me. a teenager, 17 years old in Herzliya,
Yalla.
who go to Yuvalim schools, okay?
Yeah.
Ayuvel, sorry. And they sit
איפה
and...
אתה יודע, אבל?
He was
Because I was Minister of Education, you know, I know all the... Of course. I can say all the schools in Herzliya. All right? And the name of the principals.
No, she left.
She left, no, she died.
No, the former died.
Tzipi something. When I was the minister, Tzipi something, okay? She
It
died.
seems like there are only 10 schools in
Okay,
Israel
well,
that
I
he
know
knows.
all the
4,000.
Okay.
4,000.
Anyway, he goes
So
to
listen,
school.
and ask them, listen, what is your dreams? To live in Herzliya or to
No.
live in Palo Alto?
Palo Alto, Canada.
Okay, so
Anyway,
that's the
not
question.
Herzliya.
No,
Sorry.
but
So it's a wonderful.
no, but-
so,
no,
So
but
they
I
love
don't.
them
But
because
we're not
they.
talking
But I don't
them
agree
not
with that.
being in
No, no,
Israel.
No,
We're talking
because
them.
this is like
Matter?
this is the dream you would like to have a dream, because these guys when they are 18, they go and they draft,
To the army.
and afterwards they
after-
stay in
after-
Israel,
and
and
they will be
afterwards
officer?
they stay.
And after that they
But
go to
again,
Berlin.
we're talking about
No, they
Israeli
don't go
kids.
to
You know,
Berlin.
you know the profile. Listen to me. The profile.
No.
I know it. The profile.
Listen to me.
Listen. The profile in Palo Alto.
Israelis.
You know the profile in Palo Alto or in New Jersey in the 80s was drivers.
Was what?
Drivers.
Drivers.
Drivers. They have
Sfaradim.
taxis
Okay.
or restaurants. Today is young people who finish 8200
It's high tech.
and high tech. It's not the same profile.
So I'm going to exert.
לא,
50,000 ישראלים בפאלו אלטו והסביבה 50,000, זה מדהים.
low.
We interrupt.
I'm just going to exert privilege of the madrich and turn it over to Shlomo. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to listen to Israeli argue with each other.
So rare.
Gam v'gam.
מיליון ישראלים.
Oh, okay. So my question to you, and maybe it relates to what you talked about, being business person, besides all of this talk and all of these Talmudic arguments, is what action, do you have specific recipe or priorities? What action should Jews in this area take place? What should we do?
That's going to be the closing panel.
Yeah.
Yes. Or conversely, what action are you taking? Like, I'm not familiar with Reut, I don't know what's that. But it's interesting to understand what do you do in terms of your action, and in particular for people that live here, what should we do?
I want to say, okay?
Each of you can take 2
yeah,
minutes on this
okay.
because I
I
think it's
don't-
actually
I
an
only need
important,
one.
critical question.
I want you to invent 1 cent from each dollar that is being sent to Israel, okay? And to get to know who gave this cent and why. And if they don't, like he said, okay? If you want to take money, okay? Get to know who is giving you the money. Why? What are they feeling? Why are they giving this money to you and not to the poor people who is not in this area? But I'm sure there are areas who, also,
of course.
what they say East Palo Alto, someone took an Airbnb over there.
Okay.
You want examples?
And it's very important because during the Kotel crisis, okay, about the agreement on the Western Wall, we ask in Reut, all this philanthropic money go to Israel because people believe in Israel, and no one from the most organizations or municipalities or government or whatever, no one came and stood up and said no. No one came in front of the government and said, okay, we know them, we know what is important for them, and we stand here for them because I care, because they're sending me money, but I understand why.
Okay.
That's it.
Shai, 2 minutes.
1 minute.
1 minute.
גם הוא אמר 1 minute and it took 3,
I took 3.
at least.
I have for you 2 examples. First, you know what is Daf Yomi? It's 1 page in the Talmud that a lot of thousands of, hundreds of thousands of Jews learn the same page in the Talmud the same days. I think that if the Jews from the diaspora and from Israel take 10 parts, 5 from Israeli writer and 5 from American writer, and every student in the world, every year, learn the same 10 apart. 5 for people, women and people, secular, Orthodox, Reforms, Conservative, from America, and it go to the matriculation that you have to know 5 texts when you finish the school in Israel. 5 texts for famous people from the diaspora. Very simple. Very simple. I send you song from Bialik and Judah Amichai, and you send me something from Rabbi, etc., or famous woman, or some writers, or Elie Wiesel. Who care, okay? But every year, another 10 texts. One example, 2 examples. Every student in Israel have a brother in the diaspora, and they talk in WhatsApp, in the email, 1 time every week, not more. Small one, you know what? איך קוראים למשחק הזה עכשיו שכל הילדים משחקים? Fortnite. You know what? It's Fortnite. It's a wonderful game. Play Fortnite with members from the diaspora. 2, 3. The philanthrope must say that every 10 people who came from the diaspora to visit in Israel, the Israel government sent 5 to visit in the diaspora. Okay? It's a lot of examples.
Okay. Avi?
So I'll try to do this in 2 minutes. We launched a curriculum last year, which we started out with, again, trying to dive into the serious things we're talking about, but then we realized we have to start from scratch, as I said before, and we want to get our kids involved emotionally and then connect on the family basis with Jews in the diaspora. So what we did, we developed a game, actual game, floor game, a huge game. It's like 13 feet on 13 feet, 4 על 4 meter. And we tried doing this through teachers, but they're so busy, teachers, so we took the leadership of the students. And within 2 weeks, 55 schools played this game, all played this game. And the game was about diaspora. And on the platform of the game, the floor game, you could actually add many dimensions and many tasks for the kids to know and to get to know about the diaspora. But it also starts from their story. Because the first task is where I came from, where my grandparents came from. So on the map, which is on the floor, they figure it out. Then the connection between the other kids in the room, where their grandparents came from. Who has a cousin abroad? Then they have to stand on the continent where the cousin is. And all of a sudden, it's my story, just as the story of the Jews in the United States. Then you dive into a little bit more sophisticated issues and things that you guys are dealing with. And it's doable. I mean, the results were that after the Pittsburgh massacre, they asked schools to send signs. And without us sending anything out, Amit schools were like the top list. Like most of the schools that sent it the first day were Amit schools, and I think it was a result of what we did with them last year. But again, on your side, I think what Rav Shay is saying and others, which is the higher level, after they get to know the diaspora, is trying to do things that bond each other. So we have to invest in it. We have to have the kids here invest in it, the communities invest in it. Not only in money, but mainly time and connecting, face-to-face, personal connections.
Tehila.
I'm going to talk about it in the last session, so I'm giving my 2 minutes there.
Okay.
So
You have 4.
I'll try not to be shallow, but
2,
the best way I know to raise awareness is via the media. That's practically my job, and I know that it's important, the education and the youth and all the activities, they are important, but if you don't raise awareness all the time, if you don't attract attention, not nicely, raise issues.
Provocative, yeah.
It's a scala. You can be not in the middle, but we have to talk about it, and because people in Israel don't really know why is it important, why should they care, because they have more burning issues. If you turn it into a burning issue or an issue that is usually is common and known and interests people will start dealing with it daily, because now they deal it 2 months. Once a month, there's something about it. Not enough to make a change, to make a social change.
Okay. So I want to thank the panel. I want to end this with, I'm going to share something because I actually believe the real gift that all of us got, all of us, not just Israelis, not just Americans, all of us as Jews got was the gift of Torah and the lessons we've learned as a people, regardless of how we observe those lessons. So this is also Rabbi Sachs that I learned from. It's a piece of Talmud that talks about the debate between Rav and Shmuel. And the debate goes, if we don't have a shamash, the candle that we light the Hanukkah with, can we take another one of the candles and light the rest of the candles? Okay, Rav says no. Shmuel says yes. And it's remarkable, if only because almost always when those two guys were arguing, we side with Rav. In this case, the Talmud sides with Shmuel. So I do my own riff on what Rabbi Sachs explains. I will explain that it's crucial that we light more lights. It's crucial that we engage like this, that we bring each other into this, that we seek these solutions, that we seek ways to touch more Jews, that we seek ways to bring more Jews to Judaism. It's why I think all of us came to this event. It's why I think this is sort of the perfect event for Hanukkah. And so I want to say thank you all very much for participating.
Thank you.